Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. Arsenal 0, West Ham 1, and with that, the title's gone. And it's a case of I told you so on many different levels. You know, somebody was in our live chat after the Aston Villa Liverpool game saying, you said the title was over in December. Now look at you, you mug. Well, I don't really like that I told you so sort of stuff, but just because I said the title was over in December doesn't mean we might have got a bit of a title race. But I think Arsenal lost this title before Christmas, and I think Liverpool did the work to win this title before Christmas. And yes, there might have been a few twists and turns, but inevitably, I think it's quite predictable that Arsenal will not win this title without a goal threat. They've had 19 shots today and 2 have been on target, and they've lost 1-0 to West Ham. They've had a game that they should have won, and they've had a man sent off as well. It's a case of I told you so. I said that Liverpool would win this title because there is no credible competition for them. And maybe if Arsenal had followed through on an Ollie Watkins or an Ollie Watkins alternative and started burying these sort of games, with Liverpool having a little bit of a wobble, they might have been a little bit under pressure. But they'll be sat there tonight going 8 points clear, same amount of games played, play Man City tomorrow, could be 9 points clear, could be 11 points clear, might lose. But even then, Arsenal have got to close the gap. And they're not going to close the gap because that's not a game today that I've predicted that they drop points in. And they've done it straight away. Their very first opportunity to put a bit of pressure on Liverpool, heading into a massive game against Man City, where they've dropped points against Aston Villa and Everton and looked a little bit shaky against Wolves. Arsenal's job is just beat West Ham. They've not scored, they've lost, and they've had a man sent off. And I said this last week against Leicester. For 80 minutes, it was quite tight. And I said, if Leicester score first, I don't see a way back for Arsenal because they've got to score 2 goals then. And they just haven't got the firepower. And the interesting thing is, I'm sure the old Arteta, they will all be at it again. But I just don't see what Mikel Arteta can do any better. I don't really see what Declan Rice or any other Arsenal player can do. Defensively, they're very good. They've lost by a goal. They're a very good team defensively, but they haven't got an outlet. And I think, I'm just going to say it, the reason Arsenal aren't winning the league this year is because the ownership didn't buy a striker in January. They should have got someone in the summer, but in January there was an opportunity. You were still in the FA Cup, you were still in the Carabao Cup, you were still in a title race, you didn't buy a striker, and now you're out of all of them. And you're trying to win a Champions League when you can't score goals. And that's not on Mikel Arteta, who said he was frustrated. So, yeah, there'll be a normal reaction. Arsenal fans will be calling in. They'll be saying we need to sack Arteta. But unless you're sacking Arteta and the next guy's getting a couple of top-class strikers, I'd say get a top-class striker and see where you are. Last year, you lost the title by 2 points to a very good Man City side. The year before, you lost the title to a treble-winning Man City side. This year, you're going to lose the title to a Liverpool team who've got a better firepower than you. You've got a better defence. Midfield, you could debate, but they've got a better attack than you. And goals win games. It's a fantastic result for West Ham as well. I don't think we should underestimate that in any way, shape or form. It's a very good result for West Ham. But I think, although I predicted an Arsenal win, I do remember talking to Robbie about this yesterday, and it's, you know, Arsenal are going to drop those Everton or Brighton at home points at some point, and I suppose West Ham does fit the bill. So, look, we were looking yesterday about the away games they've got, Forest on Wednesday. Arsenal might win that. They might not concede and get the goal. But I think Arsenal are always in a game when it's 0-0 because if they get that goal, they can defend it. But if they concede first, you've got to score 2 to win. And I think that's where Arsenal come into it. On the red card, by the way, I'm sure some people will be talking about that. There's been some interesting VAR decisions today. I mean, the results today are incredible as well. But on the red card, Lewis Skelly, I've seen it back on social media, and although it's on the halfway line, it's more of a red card than Saliba's was against Bournemouth because he's actually in possession of the ball, the West Ham player, and Lewis Skelly pulls him down and Raya's out of his goal. He's definitely going to have a goal-scoring opportunity, so it has to be a red card. It's frustrating. I feel for the Arsenal player because I think in that situation he's been caught in possession. You try and turn it around, and yeah, it's a red card. I can't argue with that. But Arsenal are top of the league for red cards as well. Some of them are unlucky. Some of them are dubious, but how many points have Arsenal dropped because of red cards this season as well? How do you solve that next year? I mean, look, 2 of those red cards were for a rule that we knew was going to got rid of, and we knew it was going to hurt Arsenal. Namely, Declan Rice supposedly kicking the ball away and Trossard kicking the ball away. You don't get red cards for that anymore. So I do feel for Arsenal to a certain extent, but I don't think they can have any complaints about that.